audits and the dosing of these local governments, I mean, he has hit the ground running, and he has been very, very strong with everything. And I think you're going to see a lot of really, really good things to come. And so, those two appointments are appointments that you can be proud of. Those are appointments that what the voters expect us to do, they have people, based on my appointments that are going to deliver on what the people expect us to do. And that's really what it's all about. Now, we also have a vacancy in the office of Lieutenant Governor. My friend Jeanette Nunez, who served the state well for the first term and a half, received I think she thought it was a promotion, and I guess it depends on your view, but she's got a great position as the president of the Florida International University, and she's hit the ground running, and she's done good. And so that was, many months ago, but I told people I want to get through the legislative session, do the budget, and we did that. It took us really to July. And so we've spent, particularly the last many weeks, talking to various people, doing the vetting that we need to do. What I was looking for is someone that can be lieutenant governor that will help us deliver more wins for the people of Florida, and then also that is capable of serving and leading as governor if that need were to ever arise. And I was very insistent on two things. One, you have to be strong on policy, and you have to have a record of delivering big conservative results. You gotta have a foundation of conservative principles. Rudderless ships will never find true north. And it's very important that people bring with that, because we can talk about issues right now, a year from now, into the future. You don't know what's going to throw your way. So what are you going to look to as your frame of reference as you tackle big issues? And I can tell you, I would not have been able to steer the state through COVID like we did, more successfully than any other state, if I didn't have that solid philosophical foundation, starting with faith in God, but also, importantly, understanding the constitutional principles that made this country great. And the second thing is, you need somebody that's going to run towards the fire. Don't sit on the fence. You got to be willing to lead in these positions. And you have to recognize leadership has a cost. When you lead, when you get things done, people come at you. They smear you. They attack you. They lie about you. That's just the world we live in. And you got to be somebody that's going to be willing to stand up and lead and fight for you, knowing that there's going to be people that don't like that. Now, Jay Collins, our senator from Tampa, has served in dangerous missions as a Green Beret, really around the world, but particularly in Iraq and Afghanistan. He served with distinction and integrity in some of the most high-octane type of combat missions you can have. He was wounded in action and earned a Purple Heart. He's also been awarded the Bronze Star and the Legion of Merit, among other many significant military decorations. And now eventually, because of his duty, he ends up losing one of his legs. And I think most people at that point would simply take a medical retirement and move on to different segment of life. But Jay decided to re-up as a Green Beret using a prosthetic leg. How many people would do that? I don't think very many. As our state senator from Tampa, he's been a man of action. He has delivered conservative wins, and I think has been one of the most productive senators we have had in modern Florida history. And on all the big issues, he not only was an ally of mine, he was standing up for you. When we have natural disasters strike in the state of Florida, yes, we're managing all this stuff, doing this. Jay Collins is on the ground feeding people, first responders, displaced residents through his charitable organization. And he does it very well, not necessarily seeking the camera, but just seeking to make a difference. More recently, when we had the IDF-Iran conflict break out, we had a lot of Floridians that were stranded in Israel. The airport was shut down, rockets were raining. I authorized rescue missions through the Florida Division of Emergency Management. We were able to bring hundreds and hundreds of people to safety. And, look, I directed, I authorized, and I supervised that, but I did that from Tallahassee. Senator Collins went to Israel. He was in Jordan. He was in these countries in the middle of the war, personally helping to rescue his fellow Floridians and fellow Americans. Senator Jay Collins is the Chuck Norris of Florida politics. And I am proud to announce today that I am appointing him to be the next Lieutenant Governor of the free state of Florida. Hooah! Now, I also look, deeply at people's records and what they've done. And one of the things about being a Green Beret, and I know many of you here know this firsthand, is, they take pride in being the first ones in and the last ones out. They're silent professionals, like other special operators in different services, but they do oftentimes clandestine missions. There's no fanfare, no boasting. All they're trying to do is achieve results. They are not seeking recognition. That is the epitome of putting service above self. And if you look at Jay's distinguished record, he has stepped up time and time again to do missions that very few people in our country would be willing to do. And politics has become so performative that we often lose sight, or some do, I don't think we have in Florida, lose sight of why you're really there. It's not to emote on social media. It's not to get on as many TV shows as possible. Jay embodies one of our core principles. While words can be meaningful, it is ultimately deeds that are the most powerful. You're in office to deliver results for the people that put you there, not to serve your own personal interest. And I think Jay's life story has been the embodiment of that. Florida has also been a proving ground for conservative policy. You can look at a state like California, honestly, naturally one of the most beautiful places you could ever be, all up and down that. You look at places like New York and Illinois and see people, they're hemorrhaging population. People are fleeing, and where have they chosen to flee to for refuge and for sanity and for freedom? The free state of Florida. We have shown that conservative principles, when applied to bold solutions and bold policies, work. That is something that is very important as we continue to have debates in this state and across the country. And I think Jay has amassed a conservative record that is second to none. He was one of the few folks that were standing strongly at the beginning of this year to say Florida must work with the Trump administration to finally end the illegal immigration crisis and to be partners in these removal and deportation efforts. He's been strong supporter of election integrity, 100% record on law and order. When you do the crime in Florida, you will do the time, and we will never embrace California-style weak on crime policies here in the Sunshine State. When I called on the legislature to ban the purchase of land by the Chinese Communist Party in our state, Jay wrote the legislation and got it done. He's been in lockstep with us on education reform. He's been a friend to taxpayers, supporting massive tax relief, and he's one of the strongest supporters of our proposal, which will be on the ballot next year, to give homeowners in Florida finally some property tax relief. He's been a supporter of our efforts to do historic debt reduction in the state of Florida. We've eliminated over 40% of the state's total debt over 180 years just since I've been governor. He's been a partner in our efforts to revitalize our natural resources, including the Florida Everglades, but also springs and other key aspects, as well as to improve and modernize Florida's infrastructure. And he helped us defeat the woke agenda in Florida, CRT, DEI, ESG, all in the dustbin of history in the Sunshine State because of our efforts. And here's the thing. If you haven't been willing to lead at any point in your career, you're not all of a sudden going to get into a high office and suddenly grow a backbone. It doesn't work that way. If you show me what people have done, if you show me that people have stood for the right things, you show me people who have sacrificed and who have led and who have run into the fire, then that's somebody that I think will likely be able to do that when they get elevated to higher office. But it's about performance and record and deeds, and Jay on that measure has amassed a stellar record, and I believe he will continue to be an outstanding leader in the state of Florida. And as I said, look, you've got to ultimately be able to handle this job if circumstances warrant that. And one of the things you have to do as governor of Florida, which may not be as important in some other states, many other states, and even some that probably don't have to deal with it as much as us, is to be able to manage crises like disaster response. And if you look at Jay, he's been in crises as active duty service member. He has personally, through his charity, gone and been a first responder, helping people get stabilized, helping distribute meals to first responders as well as displaced residents during all of our recent hurricanes. Ian, Idalia, you name it, he's there. Honestly, he's there before I get there sometimes. I'm like, how are you doing this? And he does. And then, of course, if you look at what he did in Israel, why would you want to go in to Israel when Iran is raining rockets down? Most people would take a pass on that. He didn't need to do it, and yet here we are doing these amazing flights and taking people out by boat, and I think we probably got probably 2,000 all in with the boats and everything, and he's on the first flight he can do to get there, and he has personally saved a number of lives just in that operation. And so that shows you somebody who's able to handle pressure, who's able to navigate through very difficult situations. So congratulations to Jay, his wife Layla, sons Gabe and Colt on his appointment to the Lieutenant Governor of Florida. And now, and with Jay's appointment, Florida will be the only state in these United States that has both a governor and a lieutenant governor who are military veterans. And what better state to have? So I'm happy to be able to have the opportunity to elevate somebody who's earned it, somebody that you can trust, and somebody that you can be proud of. Our mission continues. We will lead, we will fight, and we will win for the people of Florida. Our goal is very simple: keep Florida strong. Thank you very much, and we're going to now hear from some folks. So we're going to start with Wendy Nissan. Where's she at? Okay, come on up. So we're going to hear from a few people, then we're going to do the swearing in, and then Jay's going to have a few words for you. Wendy?
Good morning. As the governor said, I'm Wendy Nissan, a proud wife and mother of 3 boys here in Florida. Back in June, my oldest son was on a UF internship in Tel Aviv, Israel. And then the war erupted. One day, he's exploring the country. The next, sirens, and he's running for a bomb shelter in the middle of the night. I told him with broken reception in the shelter, "Don't worry. I am confident that Governor DeSantis will send the very best to bring you home," and really comforted him. The next morning, phone rang. It's Senator Jay Collins. "Where's your son?" At that moment, I knew help was already on the way. For context, Florida has the third largest Jewish population in the nation. Yet while New York and California were silent, Florida, as always, led the way. People say Israel faces rockets firing down all the time. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that these were Iranian ballistic missiles. Massive, catastrophic, nearly impossible to stop. Warnings are different. 10 minutes, then 90 seconds, and you hold your breath. You're watching as the missiles are raining down over Tel Aviv and other civilian populations, while your child is, hovering in a shelter below, and all you can do is pray. Personally, for my family, Jay was our guardian angel. Even as he was focused on rescuing as many as he could, I heard Jay called my son directly. "Where are you? I'm coming to get you." Think about that. While U.S. citizens were trying to find a way out, our new lieutenant governor went straight into the heart of danger, crisscrossing the Middle East to save our children, our friends, and our neighbors. That's courage. That's honor. And that's duty in action. That's leadership you can count on. And that is why Florida has the best team in the nation, always leading Governor Ron DeSantis and Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins, leaders who don't just talk about protecting our people, they walk into the fire. So I'm so proud to be the first to congratulate Jay Collins as Florida's new Lieutenant Governor. Thank you.
Good job. All right, Joey Russick, where's he at? Joey?
Good morning, Governor DeSantis, distinguished guests, and friends. I just want to point out the governor has made an amazing choice for lieutenant governor. I'm so excited for my friend Jay Collins. He is an amazing, compassionate, hardworking American hero who has committed his life to the service of others. From the moment Jay joined our team, he set the tone of engagement and innovation. Jay's priorities include establishing and developing our Blue Sky Day programs, which we do during non-disaster. Jay's impact was immediately felt upon joining the team. He demonstrated a strong commitment to service by convincing and executing the Breaking Bread Tour, which is where he outlined a plan to run and bike across the country. Jay came to me and told me he was going to do that. I did tell Jay I was not going to run or bike with him, but I will follow along pulling a trailer that will help cook the food for the military personnel and raise awareness for first responders and military, and then the combating of hunger. During COVID-19 pandemic, Jay was very instrumental in helping Operation Barbecue Relief with creating a program to assist restaurants in coming back online across the country. As the restaurants were facing closure nationwide, we were able to bring those back together and staff them back and continue to feed those in need during that time. Jay is a strong advocate for community support. Following storms, he actively participates in preparing meals for those in need. His exceptional networking skills during disaster ensure that we are able to reach every affected locality. He's not just there to cook meals. His true strength lies with his ability to connect with people and ensure that every community that we go into receives the vital meals they require during a disaster. Jay, congratulations, bud.
Okay. And I can personally attest, we have our folks down in these disaster spots, obviously, and these guys with Jay's leadership, I mean, they're really serving an important. Is he going to come up the ramp? Or he's going to go right there? Okay. The next speaker we have is a fellow vet, Romy Camargo. So I guess you're gonna pull right in here, and then we got the microphone. Thank you for doing this. Get right in the center so that you get the. There we go. Oh, please tell me that's working. Okay. Some of these mics, it's amazing. Like you grab it and it just doesn't work. Is that working? No. Here, I'll tell you what. Test 1, 2.
Check. Well, good morning, everyone. Governor DeSantis, First Lady Casey DeSantis, distinguished guests and friends. It's an honor to be here on a special occasion, especially to celebrate how far Jay has come. From being selected for Special Forces with the Frozen chosen to today, Jay's journey shows his great resilience and dedication to the Special Forces Regiment, our country, and his community. Like me, he's a Green Beret and a warrior. After losing his leg, he qualified for Special Forces, serving 5 more years as a Green Beret. Then, when Jay asked himself, what else can I do? He entered the political arena, and with full endorsement of Governor DeSantis. He ran for Florida State Senate, District 14, and won in November 2022. As Green Berets, we learn to build relationships that foster trust, empower communities, and create lasting stability. And that's exactly what Jay has done. He shifted a district that was usually left-leaning into a right-leaning one. We thrive by leveraging cultural knowledge and personal connections to achieve outsized impacts. That same resolve drove Jay to help bring Americans back, mostly Floridians, home from Israel during the 12-day war, teaming up with Gray Bull Rescue on Father's Day. During the interview, he said he took that call seriously because these missions aren't just logistics, they're lifelines. Jay and Layla, congratulations on this incredible day. You've never taken the easy road. You've served with distinction, and more importantly, you've led with heart. You embody the warrior ethos and show what it means to be a Green Beret and a leader every single day. We love you, my brother. Right. Congratulations.
Great job. Now, you know, with all Jay's done, we could have those speakers all day long if we wanted, but we understand that, that we got to get to business here. So in a minute, I'm going to invite up Jay and his family, although I do think Romy did mention, you know, when I did recruit him to run here a few years ago, and this was like a lot of people didn't think a Republican could win, and not only did he win, I think he won like overwhelmingly, and I think it's because of what you've seen here. You know, voters know, hey, this is a guy that like I believe in. This guy I can count on, and that's not usually what gets circulated at some of these elections. And so, you know, I think that his political success was really a reflection of what he had done throughout his life and putting service before self. And then obviously he's gotten in and he's delivered big results for people. And so those were very well votes cast. Okay, so we have one of our Florida Supreme Court justices, Jamie Grosshands, that's here. So Justice, if you wouldn't mind coming up. And then we'll also welcome up my wife, the First Lady, to observe with me, as well as the Collins family. So come on up, guys. There's the...
faithfully perform
the duties of Lieutenant Governor,
the duties of Lieutenant Governor,
on which I am now about to enter.
of which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Good job, guys. Great job. All right, the floor is yours, LG.
That works. That works. Well, you know you're a boy, Dad, when they just jump off the stage there, right? And it's good. So, first off, thank you. Thank each of you. I just can't thank you enough for being here. I see people from work with OBR, volunteers who have served day in and day out with us. I see other elected representatives. I see friends from all walks of life, law enforcement, first responders, our military, and of course, Layla, Gabe, and Colt. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Casey and Lieutenant Governor, or Governor. We're not there yet. Casey and Governor, thank you. Thank you. I know. But I do want to make a couple of little adjustments to what was put out there. First off, I didn't lose my leg. I do know where it is. It's just not with me anymore. So you got to have a little humor with this. But good afternoon. I really want to thank the governor and the First Lady for their trust and their faith in myself and our family. It means the world to me. You know, I didn't grow up with privilege or wealth. I was adopted, raised by my grandparents. I watched my father pass away before I was really a man, and later chose to serve our nation, to fight for a nation that afforded me every opportunity to climb out of those circumstances that rose up, to be something new, something dynamic, something unique to my family. You see, I grew up in a trailer, but in our nation, you're not defined by that. There are opportunities ahead of everybody. When the governor called and we talked through this and we had this opportunity, you know, you don't hesitate. Because when you've lived a life of service, when you've worn the cloth of our nation and you stood in the fire and you fought for something greater than yourself, as many in this room have, so many of my brothers and sisters here, you don't flinch when that next mission comes up. You just say, yes, sir, let's go. And that's what makes this opportunity so meaningful, is that Governor DeSantis, and you know, he doesn't talk about this enough, and it's something I am so incredibly proud of. He's a combat deployed Navy veteran. He's a warrior in and of his own service and self. And sir, thank you for what you've done. Your naval history and your service matters. When you talk to him, you notice the ethos, the approach, that military mindset in all that he does. You know he's combat deployed, but what he is now is a conservative constitutional warrior. Is there any doubt that he has our best interests, our people's best interests in heart and in mind in every single thing he does? It's incredible. He's a man who has never turned his back on a fight. He's especially those fights that matter to Floridians, the things that matter the very, very most. Under his leadership, Florida didn't just survive, we led on so many things: freedom, education, public safety, the Constitution. The list is incredibly long. And nobody can debate the fact that today, Florida is the conservative proving grounds of the United States of America, because this family put us there. But it's important to know that just as fast as we got it, we can lose it. Florida must remain the best state in the nation to build, grow, and relocate families and businesses. To accomplish this, we have to build on the successes of the past by embracing the additional bold, forward-looking solutions. Thanks to Governor DeSantis, we already have the #1 economy in the country, but we must not slow down. We can't reverse course and revert to many of the failed policies and misguided priorities we've seen come out of Congress. We have to keep fighting to keep Florida free, but to keep our economy growing and flowing, because that's what our people need. That's what Florida needs. We must continue to keep Florida safe in the communities and protect the quality of life that we all greatly value. You know, we always stand with our men and women in blue, no matter what goes on. no matter what goes on. When we had the Summer of Love, as it's affectionately been called, when people were turning their back on our law enforcement, when they didn't know where to turn, you know where that didn't happen? It didn't happen here in Florida. Because we stand with our law enforcement, we have their back unequivocally, and we mean that in everything we do. We will always continue to enforce our immigration laws. You heard the governor speak about this. If we don't have a boundary, we don't have a border, we don't respect our people enough to fight for immigration laws, we've lost everything. And that's why Florida has led on this incredibly important subject. We'll always stand ready to help Floridians who face the wrath of natural disasters. You heard the governor and Joey and so many speak about this. Guys, when the chips are on the line and hard times have happened and the worst things in your life have happened, Florida doesn't back down. We don't turn our backs. We step up and we serve and we lead and we make sure that we get things back to where they were and better. That's the Florida way. And we've always stood up to special interests who want to make our public spaces open to drug use and take down our quality of life. Y'all, this is not the place, that is not the game, and we will not back down in that fight. As your Lieutenant Governor, I fully intend that I'm going to help the governor and our entire administration continue to fight for those values, for the things that made Florida strong. We're going to continue to stand firm with our families. If you believe in education, you believe in choice, and you believe that families have the right to choose and drive their education choices, then this is your state. This is your home because of what Governor DeSantis and this great state has done. Thanks to the bold leadership of Governor DeSantis, Florida is a national model of fiscal responsibility. Our rainy day fund, fully funded, we've paid down more debt than you can ever imagine, and we're just getting started. We have reduced the size of our government, reduced the size of our debt, and reduced our budget year over year. Do you know of any other state in the union that happens? Wouldn't it be great if Congress applied a little bit of that Florida logic to business and life? So you'll notice a theme here, and why is that? And what is the theme? It's that we got to leave things better than we got it. Ultimately, we're here to do one thing: protect and preserve the things we love, those truths that are hallowed and God-given, that our nation and our state protect. That's what Governor DeSantis, Casey DeSantis, my family, and so many others have continued to fight for. We have to preserve those because our founding fathers passed something pretty unique to us. It's our job to make sure our kids have that same opportunity. We must continue to fight. And I'm leaving a group of people here that are really important to me, and that's our veterans. If you wear the cloth, if you've worn the cloth, or you serve in any manner or any way, I want you to know that unequivocally we have your back, we have your six, and we will do all we can to continue to make this state the most veteran-friendly state. And Hammer, we are just getting started. Do you agree with me on that? To our first responders, I want you to know that when I tell you you deserve every bit of the time, the tools, and the training necessary to complete your mission and get back to your family safely, I mean that without equivocation. Governor DeSantis, our family, Casey DeSantis, we have your back. We will not turn our back on those who serve our community. We are with you each step along the way. And I want your families to know that we appreciate your service, we appreciate your sacrifice, and what you do matters. You serve our community in so many ways. God bless you for what you do, guys. Now, as I stand before you today, I am truly honored to be appointed by the governor. Not just any governor, Florida's governor, America's governor, the GOAT, to help him finish the mission and keep Florida strong. Now, friends, the battlefield, it may change, but the mission, it stays the same. We are going to protect and preserve every single thing that matters. We will not stop our fight. We will not slow down. We will continue to take the fight forward because this is not politics. It is about people. It is about the people in this audience, the people we fight for, and the people we remember each and every day. Now, you heard me mention it before. Everything I do starts with my family. I've been very blessed to have not only my best friend, the love of my life beside me every step along the way, Layla is a 20-year veteran in her own right. She served 20 years. She deployed to combat zones, fighting for our nation well before that was the institutional norm. She helped write and create many of the opportunities that we have right now in keeping our world safe in ways that will never be known. So baby, I am so proud of what you've done. I am so grateful for what you do. But here's a piece that I don't share, and actually it wasn't in the speech, so newsflash, I'm gonna go off script just a little bit. You see, she sacrificed her career when I was at Walter Reed after I lost my leg. Our family needed some help, and she retired as a senior counter-intel agent for U.S. Army Special Operations, because that's how we do things in Florida. Sometimes you gotta take a knee and push your family forward, and everything we do hinged on that sacrifice, hon. So I love you. I can never thank you for all that you've done enough. Thank you for being here. I'm going to continue to lead. And Gabe and Colt, now that you're back, I see you got the snacks. That's important. That's really important. I want you to know that we're teaching you what matters. Watch what matters. We want you to be men who lead, men who step forward, and men of principle and values, men who know what right is, what wrong is, and do the right thing no matter how difficult it is. I'm here to lead. I'm here to fight for what's right, to protect those very things that matter. And if you live in Florida and you can hear my voice and you are a citizen of this great state, to our fellow Floridians, regardless of where you live, what your politics are, I want you to know that as your Lieutenant Governor, I have your back. I will fight to defend each and every one of you, whether you're going to vote for me or not. You are a member of this state, you are a citizen of this state, and you are people that we will fight beside and for, because that is what we do in Florida under Governor Ron DeSantis. And Governor DeSantis, thank you again for your trust and confidence. I am locked in. I'm ready to go. What I want you to know is this, and my friends will know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, this next word is probably one of my defining characteristics. I am relentless in the pursuit of excellence. Excellence is a choice. We will not falter. We will not fail. We will not stop until we keep fighting and achieve excellence in all that we do, because that is the Florida standard, and that is our way, and that is my promise to you, Governor. There's so much important work ahead, but I can assure you we're just getting started. I can't wait to take the next step. There's work to get done, and we're not going to reverse course. We're going to keep this thing on the path, and I want you to know that I've got my sleeves rolled up, I've got my running leg on, and we are ready to get things done. Because here's what you got to remember. When Florida leads, America wins. That. So I always end my speeches the same way, and it's this. God bless each of you. God bless the great state of Florida, and may God continue to bless these United States. Deo presto liber.